Hi there, students. To shrive. This is an irregular verb that most native speakers will not know how to use. Okay, to shrive is where a priest hears and receives a confession and then absolves the sinner from their sins. This is linked to confession and to free somebody from guilt. So in the Catholic Church, you go to see the priest and you tell him all the bad things you've done, and then the priest shrives you. He shrives you of your sins. Maybe he gives you a punishment, and then he frees you from your sins. So to shrive is to give a penance, to give a penalty, a punishment to a sinner, and then to grant them absolution. Okay, to make them free of sin. Now notice this is an irregular verb, like drive. Shrive, shrove, shriven. And obviously it's also one of these verbs that is becoming regular. So it could also be shrive, shrived, shrived. But notice this word shrove. We have Shrove Tuesday. And most native speakers will know the phrase Shrove Tuesday, because Shrove Tuesday is Pancake Day. And it's the day when we eat pancakes in the UK. However, most people won't know what the shrove bit means, and you're supposed to be cleaning your soul, your inside, for before Lent, before Easter. You're trying to clean yourself of sins, and that's the idea. Okay, so to shrive, a priest shrives somebody. They listen to their confession and they offer them forgiveness. They give them absolution, and that is to shrive. Now we can use shrive in various other contexts as well. For example, in a law court, maybe a good lawyer could use the defendant's inability to shrive their actions, to confess their actions. Yeah, so his inability to confess to his actions, the lawyer might use as evidence of their guilt. So he used his inability to shrive his actions. Before you get parole, you go to prison, but maybe they'll reduce your sentence by letting you out early. But one of the important things to get parole is to shrive your past actions, to obtain forgiveness from the parole board, to show them that you truly feel guilty. In order for our characters to grow, we need to shrive ourselves of the problems of the past. We need to shrive ourselves of the burdens of the past, of the things that upset us, the things that are on our mind, the things that distort our character. If we acknowledge our mistakes, this is a way to shrive ourselves. If we can admit, we can shrive ourselves by admitting our mistakes, and like that we can actually grow. Okay, if you want to have a virtuous life, you need to shrive your conscience of anything that you did that was bad in the past, anything you feel guilty about. You need to go through the act of shriving oneself of your previous sins. Many people try to to shrive themselves by committing acts of kindness and charity and generosity. So you could shrive your previous bad actions by giving money to the poor. So notice it's not only in the context of I go to the priest and the priest shrives me. So you use it in other ways to confess, to get rid of the burdens of the past, to get rid of the of guilt of the past, to get rid of the things that you did that were bad, to find a way to have a clear conscience. Let's see, if you go to your parents and admit all of the things you've done wrong, if they're loving parents, they're going to shrive you of any guilt that you had about things that you could have done differently. So it's about shrive. You could use it in the idea of forgiving yourself for doing things wrong. If you want to stop beating yourself up about things in the past, then you need to shrive yourself of the burdens of the past. You need to shrive yourself of the guilt of the past. So if you can use shrive in one of these other contexts that I've given it to you in one of your Cambridge proficiency essay, because this is a proficiency word, you're going to look really good. Now let's see, what about formality? This, I'm going to give it a 7.5 in formality. Use it in a semi-formal or formal writing. So use it in a writing, but something way up there in the formality. And as to origin, this comes from Latin, from scribere, to write. We've got scrifan in Old English, to impose, to give somebody a punishment for something bad that they've done. But it comes from Latin, from scribere, to write. So if you're speaking English, don't worry about the mistakes that have gone before. Shrive all the mistakes that you make while speaking, because if you're thinking about your mistakes, if you can't shrive your mind when you're speaking English, you're going to be thinking about your past mistakes, and that's going to give you new mistakes. So if you make a mistake when speaking, shrive your mind immediately of any mistakes that you make and carry on. So, Shrive Shrove Shriven.